The Department of Homeland Security is looking to smaller entrepreneurs and emerging tech industries to improve the work and services of the federal government. Melissa O is the managing director for DHS's Science and Technology Directorate Silicon Valley Innovation Program. Melissa, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Mimi. Great to be here.
You're actually located in Silicon Valley. Was that a conscious choice to be located there?
Yes, it definitely was a conscious choice for DHS to establish a footprint and to be able to reach out to entrepreneurs right where they are. And I'm originally from the Silicon Valley, so it made a whole lot of sense for us to really engage with the community where they sit and where they operate.
So tell me about the mission of the directorate.
So the Science and Technology Directorate, which we fall under at DHS, is the R&D arm for the department, as well as the science advisor. My role as the managing director for the Silicon Valley Innovation Program is to reach out to the startup community, entrepreneurs, small businesses, and help them understand, hey, look, we've got challenges and pain points that may be very similar to the commercial technologies you're currently developing. Is there a way for us to partner with you so that DHS could be a customer of yours as well? So we've been really actively working towards introducing new innovative technologies into DHS and are super excited to be able to deploy these new technologies with our operational partners.
But what differentiates that program from similar programs in the federal government like the Small Business Innovation Research Program, the SBIR?
Yeah, great question. Because we're focused on commercial technologies and commercial startups, we really are looking for the breadth of solutions that may be out there that can meet the DHS challenges. So we are actually able to fund international startups as well. And we have a number of international companies in our portfolio.
So how do you define a startup, though? Are there any eligibility requirements?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. For us, for SVIP, we really want to hyper focus on those really nimble small businesses. So our eligibility requirements are you have to have less than 200 employees to be eligible, not have had a federal government contract across the U.S. government space under $1 million within the last 12 months. And so we really are focused on getting to those companies that have not reached into the government because of various barriers to entry, whatever it is that may have prevented them from really wanting to work with the government. We make it so that it is much easier to work with us, much easier to get a contract, much faster than your standard government contract. So it allows those small businesses to find a way into the government. And we're super excited because 40% of our companies were never going to touch the government space before, and now they actually have follow-on government contracts. Some on the order of 8 figures. So really excited for them to be successful.
Melissa, when you say much faster, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the process and the speed that you can get one of these products to an agency.
Yeah. So our contracting process is similar to a commercial contract, where we put our pain point out there. We get them under contract in on average 45 to 60 days. And by bringing them in, it really makes it much simpler for them to work with our operational agencies to adapt and iterate their products. And within 24 to 36 months, we have a product ready for deployment. And I'm happy to say that we are able to say that we have several technologies that are already deployed in the field as a result of a much faster time frame from R&D to the field.
So give me an example of one of the projects that you funded that has really improved the lives of everyday Americans.
Yeah, so one of the technologies is a company that's focused on machine learning technologies, and because of this increasing need for us to work with more and more data, it makes it even more challenging to be able to identify whether the same entity is the same entity versus a different entity. And so take, for example, on the commercial side, you've got manufacturing of auto parts. How do contracts know whether or not they're having duplicative contracts? Well, we've been able to actually bring that technology into Customs and Border Protection, and they've been able to optimize their procurement and identify duplicative contracts, make sure that we're making efficient contracting decisions so that we're not funding too many contracts with the same requirements. And I'm happy to say that our Customs and Border Protection recently awarded a non-competitive sole source to that company because they went through our competitive program. And they've done that acquisition, and it took 4 to 5 years to get that in place, and it's deployed on their network and in use right now.
And how do you identify, you talked about the pain points, how do you identify what those are and what technologies you really need to focus on?
Right. It's a bit of more of an art than a science. It really is understanding what's available in the commercial tech startup space. And that's through engaging venture capitalists, entrepreneurs, and really being in that world to understand what they're developing. And then also talking to my operational partners, Coast Guard, Customs, TSA, to understand, well, where are your pain points, and finding a good match of where they're ready to acquire and deploy technology, and the companies are in a position to apply that technology to their needs.
And Melissa, finally, very briefly, what has been the success rate? I mean, how beneficial has this program been to the federal government?
In terms of our success rate, we count our successes as what technologies have commercialized with DHS's requirements baked in so that anyone in the federal government can acquire it. And I can say that all of the technologies that have graduated through phase 4 of our program have commercialized that technology. And at least 9 of those technologies have been transitioned to our operational customers.
All right, Melissa, thanks so much for being on the program. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future Government Matters interviews.